I wanted to make a video to show the different wheel options that are possible for a 2-in-1 board. Now there's a lot of wheel choices out there to choose from, but I'm going to go over 5 different wheels I've tried for my Balrog and let you know my experiences of each. Starting off, we have the 6-inch all-terrain Sunmates tires, which come by default on the Balrog with a 60-tooth pulley. 6-inch pneumatics are probably one of the most common wheels I see that come equipped on 2-in-1 boards. These are just great overall. They grip really good because of the rubber compound, they provide a comfy ride, and can be used in all-terrain environments. You can of course carve on these, but they don't feel as responsive as other wheels. I usually default to these if I'm going on a ride where I'm unsure of the terrain. Since it is a tire with an air tube inside, you are of course subject to getting flats, so I always try to carry a spare. Going a size up, we have the Offroad 7-inch Evolve tires using a 66-tooth pulley. The use case I mainly used these for was for trail riding and not much pavement. I was pleasantly surprised with how well these performed. These bike paths I'm riding on are a lot of fun and I'm able to traverse them no problem. Looser gravel becomes more challenging, and if I'm not careful, the board can slide out from underneath me. Because the Balrog is not the most powerful board, it will have a difficult time starting from a standstill on the off-road. What I also did to these wheels is put flat out in the tubes, and so far haven't gotten any flats going off-road. Range using these will obviously be the worst compared to the rest in this list. Overall, very good option for those looking to off-road. It can be hard to buy these since Evolve always seems to be out of stock every time I check. Next, we have the 120mm Discovery Cloudwheels using a 44-tooth pulley. These Cloudwheels have been around a while now, and they are also commonly available as a default wheel when buying production-made boards. However, now there seems to be new variants of Cloudwheels available like Hydro Wheels and Rovers. The durometer of these are 78A, width is 64mm, and it weighs 1 pound 2 ounces, so they are somewhat on the heavy side. Taking a closer look, these wheels have a very interesting tread pattern that Cloudwheel calls a special multi-step tread. The Cloudwheels have a narrow contact patch which is supposed to assist in going over bumps and cracks compared to a flat contact patch. Although the main issue I've had with these Cloudwheels is paved paths with a rough pavement texture seems to cause a lot of vibration through the board. Now, these are also considered all-terrain and they do okay in grass and dirt, but I always prefer to stay to the pavement. I have also heard that these will slip if it's wet out, but I haven't tested this as I don't ride when it's raining. Going even smaller, I decided to try the Madwheelz from madeastgate.com. These are clones of the original boosted board wheels. Madwheelz has recently come out with a V2 model, but for this video I'll be using the V1. These are 105mm in diameter, 65mm in width, and have a 72A durometer, and a flat contact patch. They drilled these holes in the side which seems to allow it to compress more than standard urethane wheels. I would say these wheels are quite magical. The carving feels great, very responsive on pavement. I can turn better with these on sharp corners than I can with my tires. Surprisingly does well over bumps and sidewalks. You can even somewhat go over grass and some dirt with these. I cannot say enough good things about these wheels. They might actually be the best wheel you can buy for your electric skateboard overall. One con with these might be because of how soft they might deteriorate faster than a harder durometer wheel. I actually prefer these over the 120mm Cloudwheels. The final wheels in this list are these 100mm Hyperdrive Ingens at 74A durometer using also a 40-tooth pulley. I chose to test these because they are a simple urethane wheel with no special features. These wheels also use a flat contact patch with a slightly rounded edge. The first thing I want to go over is the color. On the website, they look like this and are advertised as racing red. What I received is not really a red color, which is slightly disappointing. The performance of the wheels themselves, though, perform well given what they are. Much like the Madwheelz, they are very responsive. Going across questionable terrain, though, like crosswalk bumps, they seem to slide out. It's much easier to break traction and slide with these wheels. The thing I noticed the most though with these is they free roll for a very long time. I can let go of my remote and free roll down the street much longer than I can with the other wheels. So it would only make sense that these will have the longest range, above 30 miles. Overall, not a bad wheel, but I tend to avoid these due to the frequent number of sidewalk bumps I encounter during a ride. I also rode over some rough gravel for half a mile, and this is what happened. They obviously aren't made for gravel, so I'm not really surprised by this. Now let's talk about pathways for a minute. For street wheels, you would think you can go anywhere as long as it's paved, right? Sadly, this just isn't the case. In my area, there are lots of walkways and bike paths that are just simply not smooth or taken care of. This path here seems like it's okay, but it's the worst for any kind of the street wheels. The Cloudwheels, Madwheelz, and Hyperdrives all did poorly on this path. It may be hard to see, but there's very small rocks and pebbles over the top, which causes a nasty vibration feeling. So for these kinds of paths, I stick to the pneumatic tires. As for the range, this is what I get roughly for each wheel. Remember that the Balrog Classic has a 630 watt-hour battery. Not surprisingly, the Hyperdrives get the best range due to how good their free roll is. Of these 5 I've tested, my main go-tos are the Madwheelz and the 6-inch Sunmates for pavement. Anything off-roading, I use the Evolves. If I could only choose one set, it would be the Madwheelz. They are insanely good for that small of a wheel size. The comfort, the grip, the responsiveness, and they have the versatility to be slightly all-terrain. The new V2s that recently came out probably make them even better. So that's my take on these different wheels. I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you again for watching.